Blockbuster roles, multi-million-dollar paychecks. For some actors, Hollywood fame wasn't enough. They wanted more. But in their quest for bigger salaries or better deals, they pushed too far and paid the ultimate price: their careers. What led these stars to demand so much? And how did their choices backfire in ways they never expected? In this video, we'll explore the stories of actors who got greedy, then lost their job, revealing the risks of playing hardball in an industry that always moves on. But before we start, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel to watch more videos like this. Henry Cavill, The Witcher and Superman, A Tale of Two Roles. Henry Cavill made a name for himself as the iconic Superman in Man of Steel, 2013, rapidly rising to A-list status. But while his portrayal of the beloved superhero catapulted him into Hollywood's elite, Cavill's career began to show cracks when it came time to take on another major role, the titular character in Netflix's The Witcher. A self-proclaimed fan of the book series, Cavill's dedication to the role made The Witcher a massive hit. However, as his fame grew, so did his demands. Cavill's rumored disputes with the producers and writers over the direction of the show and the portrayal of his character led to tension on set. Whether it was requesting script changes or asserting too much control, Cavill's high expectations began to clash with the creative team's vision. Ultimately, the actor's behavior became a liability, and Netflix decided to part ways with him, announcing Liam Hemsworth as his replacement for the fourth season. This was not a decision taken lightly, as Cavill was expected to reprise his role as Superman in the DC Extended Universe. However, Cavill's return was short-lived, with his Superman being written out of the franchise shortly after Black Adam, 2022. Cavill's story is a stark reminder that sometimes the ego of A-list stars can cost them a career. Instead of focusing on the opportunities they already had, their demands for more ended up costing them their place in franchises they helped build. William Shatner, The Price of Stardom in Star Trek. William Shatner is one of the most iconic figures in science fiction, but his reputation in Hollywood has often been that of a difficult personality. Famous for his role as Captain Kirk in Star Trek, Shatner's feuds with co-stars Leonard Nimoy and George Takei are well documented. However, it was his pay demands that cost him the chance to fully capitalize on the success of the Star Trek franchise. After the success of Star Trek, the motion picture, 1979, Shatner was reportedly demanding a substantial raise for Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home, 1986. Paramount, wary of paying Shatner and the rest of the original cast, decided instead to create a new Star Trek series. The result was Star Trek: The Next Generation, 1987, which introduced a new captain, Patrick Stewart, and a fresh direction for the franchise. Shatner's insistence on a larger paycheck created a rift that led to his eventual exclusion from the television series. Ironically, Shatner would later appear in Star Trek Generations, 1994, where he would join Stewart's Captain Picard in a final farewell to the franchise. However, his decision to demand too much too early ultimately cost him a chance to be part of the Next Generation era. Neve Campbell, A Salary Dispute with Scream. Neve Campbell's departure from the Scream franchise in 2022 shocked fans, especially given her integral role in the series. After Scream 5, 2022, Campbell was offered a lower salary for the sixth installment. The actress, known for playing Sidney Prescott, voiced her concerns about the lack of fair compensation, arguing that her contributions to the series deserved recognition. She made it clear that her decision was not about greed, but about fairness. She was ultimately replaced by other characters, and her absence was felt throughout Scream 6, 2023. However, a year later, in 2024, Campbell was brought back for Scream 7 after a salary renegotiation. This was a win for the actress, as she was now being compensated fairly. However, her return came at the expense of Jenna Ortega, who was reportedly also seeking a salary increase. Ortega's departure from the franchise allowed Campbell to return, but the decision to leave Ortega out sparked its own controversies and demonstrated the fine balance between demand and consequence in Hollywood. The situation also highlights the ongoing struggles within the industry surrounding equitable pay and recognition for long-standing talent. Fans and critics alike voiced concerns about the shifting dynamics in the Scream franchise, while others questioned whether such salary disputes would continue to shape the future of beloved franchises. This saga serves as a reminder of the difficult negotiations behind the scenes that can impact not only the actors involved, but the audience's experience as well. Janet Hubert, Pay Demands and the Fresh Prince Fallout. Janet Hubert, the original Aunt Viv on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, was famously replaced after the first few seasons. While tensions between her and Will Smith have been widely discussed, it was revealed years later that Hubert's departure was largely due to a salary dispute. During the show's third season, Hubert was reportedly offered a contract that limited her ability to take on other work, with a pay cut in exchange. Feeling that the offer was unfair, Hubert turned it down, which led to her being written off the show. While she was never technically fired, Hubert's refusal to accept the deal caused her to be blacklisted in Hollywood for a period. Her role was eventually recast with Daphne Maxwell Reid, and Hubert's career never fully recovered. In 2020, during the Fresh Prince reunion special, Hubert finally opened up about the injustice she faced, making it clear that her actions were motivated by a desire for fair treatment rather than greed. Her candid revelation about the behind-the-scenes struggles shed light on the challenges actors face when negotiating pay and contracts, especially for women of color in the industry. Hubert's story has since become a reminder of the importance of standing up for fair treatment, even when the consequences seem steep. Edward Norton, Marvel's Hulk and the Price of Control. Edward Norton's brief stint in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU, as Bruce Banner/the Hulk is one of Hollywood's most notable tales of ambition gone awry. Norton, an Oscar-nominated actor, was initially cast in The Incredible Hulk, 2008, the second film in the MCU. However, after the film's completion, it became clear that Norton had a vision for the character that didn't align with Marvel Studios' plans. Norton's insistence on rewriting the script and his unwillingness to compromise with the studio led to a breakdown in their relationship. When it came time for The Avengers 2012, Marvel decided to replace Norton with Mark Ruffalo, and the actor's Hulk was written out of the franchise. Marvel's Kevin Feige explained that they were looking for an actor who could collaborate with the cast and contribute to the creative process. Norton's demands for more control ultimately cost him the chance to continue as the iconic character. Despite the fallout, Norton's portrayal of the Hulk in The Incredible Hulk remains a standout for its depth and emotional complexity, leaving fans to wonder what might have been had he continued in the role. Yet, his departure ultimately opened the door for Mark Ruffalo's version, which became an integral part of the MCU. Harold Perrineau, Lost Opportunity on Lost, 2004 to 2010, became one of the most influential TV shows of its time, thanks to its ensemble cast and intricate plot twists. However, one of the first notable departures was that of Harold Perrineau, who played Michael Dawson. While many assumed that Perrineau's exit was related to creative differences or money, it turns out that the actor simply wanted more screen time. Perrineau was frustrated with how his character was sidelined in favor of the white leads. He expressed his dissatisfaction with the show's producers, saying that he didn't need to be the main character, but wanted to be more involved. Unfortunately, the producers didn't have plans to expand his role, and Perrineau was phased out of the series. Ironically, the character of Michael was given more importance later on, but by then, Perrineau had already moved on from the show. Pierce Brosnan, Bond and the $45 million price tag. Pierce Brosnan became synonymous with James Bond after playing the iconic spy in 4 films during the 1990s and early 2000s. However, his high salary demands ultimately cost him the opportunity to continue in the role. In 2005, Brosnan reportedly demanded $45 million to return as Bond for Casino Royale, 2006, the first film in the series to feature Daniel Craig as the new 007. The studio, unwilling to meet his asking price, chose to recast the role instead. While Brosnan's exit was disappointing to many fans, it paved the way for Craig to take over and redefine the role for a new generation. The decision to recast the role with Daniel Craig not only rejuvenated the Bond franchise, but also brought in a fresh, more intense portrayal of 007, While Brosnan's exit may have been financial, it also signified a shift in the Bond franchise direction, as the decision to go with a younger actor allowed for a grittier, more modern take on the character. Brosnan's departure wasn't just about money, but also the changing landscape of Hollywood at the time. By the mid-2000s, there was a growing push for a more raw and vulnerable portrayal of heroes. This shift in tone for Casino Royale made it clear that Bond needed to evolve with the times. The newer, less glamorous, and more tortured Bond was in stark contrast to Brosnan's suave, often unflappable version. The financial aspect of Brosnan's exit has also been seen as a reminder of the power dynamics in Hollywood. While stars demand big paydays, the reality is that studios are not always willing to meet those demands, especially when there are alternatives available. Brosnan's high asking price essentially priced himself out of the role, but it also opened up new opportunities for his career, allowing him to branch out into other roles in films like The Matador, 2005, and Mamma Mia, 2008. Interestingly, Brosnan has since commented on his exit with a sense of acceptance, noting that everything happens for a reason. He has expressed pride in his work as Bond and is proud of how the character continued to evolve with Daniel Craig. "It's a strange thing, but it's the way the business works," Brosnan said, reflecting on his departure. "You can't dwell on it, and you certainly can't regret it." The fine line between ambition and greed. In Hollywood, it's not uncommon for actors to ask for more, whether it's in the form of bigger salaries, more control, or larger roles. However, as these stories show, when ambition crosses into the territory of greed, the consequences can be severe. Actors who fail to recognize the delicate balance between fair compensation and inflated demands can find themselves blacklisted, recast, or even forgotten. The question of where to draw the line between ambition and greed is a dilemma that every actor faces at some point in their career. While striving for more is a natural part of the entertainment industry, the cost of pushing too far can sometimes mean losing the very opportunity that catapulted them to fame. In many cases, actors who have asked for too much in terms of pay or influence have seen their roles recast or their careers take a downturn. Take the case of The Handmaid's Tale star Elizabeth Moss, for example, who is known for negotiating her salary and involvement in creative decisions. While she has earned the respect of her peers and gained a reputation for her leadership on set, her decisions haven't always been without scrutiny. For some actors, understanding when to push for better pay and when to accept what's offered can be the difference between career growth and decline. But it's not always about money. Many actors find themselves locked in battles for more screen time, creative control, or even creative credit. These negotiations, though vital for an actor's professional trajectory, can sometimes lead to disputes that are difficult to overcome. For instance, some have found themselves sidelined or even written out of major projects, all because they pushed for more than what the studio was willing to give. On the other hand, the ability to negotiate with respect and understanding can work wonders. Actors who know how to strike the right balance, those who are not only driven by monetary rewards, but also respect the collaborative process, often find themselves with long-lasting careers. These actors understand that being part of a successful project is more than just about the paycheck. It's about creating meaningful work that will stand the test of time. While it's important for actors to stand up for their value, these stories remind us that sometimes the cost of asking for too much is losing the very opportunity that made them famous in the first place. In the competitive world of Hollywood, every actor has to tread carefully when it comes to navigating their career trajectory, as every decision made can be the difference between a flourishing future or a tarnished reputation. So, what do you think about these actors' decisions? Were they right to stand their ground, or did greed cost them everything? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insider stories and shocking truths about Hollywood's biggest stars. Thanks for watching. Stay curious, stay informed, and always keep an eye on the fine line between ambition and excess.